Well, I'm reading The Red Pyramid, and I was just talking about that this author is very descriptive, and I was going to use it for writing workshop because he has very descriptive words. There's a dad and a daughter, and the daughter's narrating the story because the dad's an archaeologist and they travel a lot, and she says she spends most of her life on an airplane, in the airport, or in a car.
So all of the books that everyone's reading are very different books, but it sounds like that's one thing they do have in common, because Sierra, in yours, who's the person that's telling the story in your
Artie
book?
Howard.
So he's a character in the story, right? Okay. And Brittany, the one you're reading, who's telling the story, basically?
This girl named Junie B. Jones.
Okay. So that's one thing they all have in common. And Mackenzie, you're also reading Junie B. Jones too, right?
If you look at all of our books, they're different lengths.
Yeah.
Like, I think Mackenzie's and Brittany's are a little bit shorter than, say, mine and Luke's, because they probably only have about 80 pages compared to 515 pages.
Okay. Yeah. Well, let's look for some other things that might have in common. Now, so tell us, where's your book set, pretty much? Like, where does your story mostly take place?
At Artie Howard's house and at school.
Okay. So it's a story that takes place at home and at school.
Yeah.
Does anyone else have a book where that's where the story is taking place?
I have a story that's where the story's taking place.
So what's happening in your book there?
Well, right now she is like at school right now, but after like a chapter or two, she like goes home and like does the next day.
Do you have like?
It's kind of an adventure because.
Okay.
But also with my book, it starts from this and then it goes back to day one and it starts all over again.
Okay. So we've got two books that are kind of have some humorous things, but also sort of an adventure. Yeah. What were you noticing?
Mine's adventure and action, and it's kind of because he uses, and it's kind of confusing because if you were to read it in the beginning of the story, it says, I live in a suitcase, because they travel a lot, and I think that's really interesting because she means that because of the metaphor. She means it because she's traveling a lot. And she says she lives in a suitcase because she's probably got everything in her suitcase. Anybody have a book to where their parents are divorced?
I don't know. I've never read this book.
So what were you going to say, Sierra?
I was going to say they never mentioned the dad. They mentioned the mom, the little brother, and they haven't mentioned a dad. So they don't have a dad?
What could we infer from that? Do you think?
I could infer that maybe they're divorced or their dad works.
Okay. Or what else might be another possible?
The mom might have died